So we are in the park for, I kind of want to say this is day 2 because I'm still writing off Monday. Today we are going to probably just do a bit of a repeat of yesterday. I don't know if you can even hear me, bear with me. Today we are Jessie and Woody themed, and I've got my Woody backpack on. It's well worth taking advantage of the extra time you get. If you're a hotel guest or if you have an annual pass, you can take part in the extra magic hour in the morning, so you can just tell how quiet it is. I'll try and do a little shot later of the same angle when everybody's in at like peak time, just to show you the difference. So the plan this morning, so I will take my hair out of this plait as well because I look quite ugly. The plan this morning is Big Thunder first, just because if we get it done now, I say get it done, if we go on it now, it'll be nice and quiet, so the queue will take like 15 minutes compared to 55. And then we're gonna go and get a coffee and just probably sit on Main Street for a little bit and enjoy people watching.
Les amis, veuillez rester assis jusqu'à l'arrêt complet et attendez bien qu'on vous dise de descendre. Howdy, folks. Please remain seated until the train comes to a complete stop, and wait until you're asked to disembark. Much obliged.
So we have just been on Big Thunder Mountain and it was wonderful as ever. I was just saying to Joe, I think when they were doing the refurb of it, it feels like the ride is faster and maybe a little bit more like, I don't know, tougher. I remember last year it was quite like a soft roller coaster. It was still like amazing. I still think it's one of the best rides here. As you can tell, like everyone here who came in for the extra magic hour pretty much heads straight over to Thunder Mountain. Probably that, or I reckon they go to Hyperspace Mountain. Either way, very good start to our day. We are now at my favourite little spot in Disneyland, and I think this is my favourite, is we're having coffee, our morning coffee, and of course a chocolate chip muffin for breakfast. And we are just sat in, I think it's Market House Deli? Yeah, Market House Deli. Or just sat by Main Street Motors, just people watching. And I think this is exactly what I try and explain to people when they're like, why do you love Disney so much? Or like, what is it about Disney? I try and, like, it sounds really cheesy, but I try and describe like this feeling where it's like you're in this fake little USA town having a coffee and a cake for breakfast, and you're sat tucked away in this little corner just watching people go by, and especially during magic hour it's like quite calm. I'm expecting in about 10 minutes for it to get significantly busier. And yesterday Joe and I didn't get here until like the last 5 minutes of magic hour, which was fine. And the queues for people just waiting to get in, like not the hotel guests, basically like the regular folk, I suppose, it was already really starting to pile up. So yeah, safely we are tucked away, ready to have our breakfast and enjoy another day. I think it looks like we could be in for quite a sunny day today. There is still a couple of grey clouds, but it feels quite warm compared to yesterday. I thought yesterday was quite chilly for the most part, apart from the odd bit of sunshine. Perfect. So this time round, Joe has opted for this cap, which is actually really sweet. He's gonna think on the t-shirts because we are back here in September, and that is my birthday trip, so we're gonna go a little bit more out on September. But for now, on this gloriously sunny day, a cap will do.
Et captivant. Yippee-ki-yo! Attends un peu que je regarde ça au jouet. Wow, il y a des surprises partout.
So we have just watched characters on parade and it is now lunchtime, so we're going for Mickey Pizza at Colonel Hattie's. We've been sort of thinking about pizza since we booked the holiday. Even though all the food is good, this one, I think the atmosphere of Colonel Hattie's is lovely because it's quite tucked away and you can get a seat that's more quiet, or normally we do. It might be busy now because it's lunchtime. But yeah, even though we've seen characters on parade quite a few times now, I think as it's our kind of last full day at Disney, it's worth getting a good view by the castle and waving at the princesses and all the characters. So for lunch today we got a cheese Mickey pizza and a pepperoni Mickey pizza, and I got a Coke Zero but for us to share because I never drink a whole cup. I'm a bit rubbish with fizzy drinks. I feel like after a few sips I'm over it, so I got us one to share just for a bit of a sugar hit. And we are currently sat in, let me see if I can swing around, Colonel, I think it's pronounced Hattie's. We're in the restaurant here. We like coming here for lunch or for dinner because it's always relatively quiet outside but very peaceful. You're quite tucked away from all of the crowds, and it's a massive restaurant, so you're never really sat close to anyone either. So in those moments where you just need 10 minutes to yourself, it's perfect. So about to have our pizza and then see where the afternoon takes us. So we've just finished eating and we've got obviously the rest of the day. I'm not really sure what I fancy doing now. I think because we've just eaten, I just want to mooch around for a little bit. We've just been sorting our train tickets out for tomorrow, ready to go back to the real world. But I think we've both agreed that weirdly this trip just feels like a bit of a warm-up and we're not as fussed for like fitting everything in, just because we are back here in September for my birthday. We're not really coming for my birthday, we're coming because there's the pass holder night. It just happens to be on my birthday. So I feel like I'm okay with not fitting everything into these kind of couple of days that we've been here, just because we're going to be here in just over a month's time again, and save up all of our money and do everything times 1,000 in September. So I think this has just felt more relaxed, even though it's like not really a word you'd used at Disney. I wouldn't say Disney's very relaxing, but I think now we're gonna have a little look around some shops maybe, and then probably head over to the studios for a little bit. I don't think there's any major rides that we're like desperate to go on. As I said, we did Big Thunder this morning. We went on Carousel in Fantasyland, but the queue for that ended up taking quite a while. It seemed like quite a slow start, which is fine. And then we watched the parade and we've just had lunch, so we'll see what this afternoon brings, but I feel like it's going to be a very slow-paced afternoon. We're still toying with the idea of watching the fireworks tonight. I'm in two minds, because part of me thinks obviously you've got to see it every trip, you should see them at least once per trip. But then I'm also thinking I'll be tired and I have seen the fireworks before, so I'm not as fussed for watching them. We'll see how we feel in the evening. The alternative is we went to the Skyline bar on Monday night and absolutely loved it there. We went for a hot drink, so I'm thinking we may just go there instead. We can picture the fireworks, we don't need to see them. A massive family has just joined, so we'll probably be heading off soon because I think there's going to be a lot of noise soon. So this is the Donald ice cream. Yeah, so if you fancy that, it is this one here. Wafer cone, vanilla ice cream, glazed donut and vanilla. Joe is getting tucked in straight away.
Les amis, il n'y a qu'un mot pour...
Hi everybody, we're making a short scheduled stop here in the canyon. Please remain seated and keep your hands and arms inside the tram. Thanks.
Oh, it's like the perfect seat.
We did last time.
Whoa. This canyon is so beautiful and calm. Seulement en apparence. I've never seen this art. J'ai des photos des œuvres d'art. C'était une reproduction du monument. There's a Mr. McQueen, Doc Hudson, and even later, the Great White Wall of China.
So, sad to report, it's our last day in the park. We have just kind of made it in like the final 2 minutes of magic hour, but by that point they'd already started letting people in, which is obviously fine. However, we did power walk to the Market House Deli just so we could have our final cake and coffee of the week. I was just saying to Joe, it always feels quite typical that I think on your second to last day of your holiday, you start to get the kind of holiday blues and you start to think about, I guess, the practical side of like packing and making sure your timings are all correct. And then when it actually gets to your last day, because you've planned so well, everything falls into place and you end up having a wonderful day until you have to leave. And that's kind of happened this morning. I think this morning I was just thinking about timings and making sure we kind of got to the luggage lockers on time and we got to the parks at a nice time and, you know, all these things. And actually it was the fastest security we'd ever been through. The gates were super fast because we went to like the other side of the Disneyland Hotel where there was hardly anyone scanning through. The Market House Deli, which is where I'm sat right now, is super quiet. And we get to enjoy our coffee and people watch, and weirdly it's drizzling, so I feel like I'm extra happy, even though yes, a gorgeous sunny day would be lovely. The fact that I'm sat here with my new Disney fleece on, if you know me, you know that a rainy day is my happy place. Maybe not so much if it's pouring it down, but you know, something like this right now is lovely with the music going, so I'm very happy. I think the plan of action this morning is we're just going to enjoy our breakfast and just kind of soak up the rest of the magic. Most likely maybe try and get on one more ride while we're here, just because our train isn't until 1:20. So I don't think we need to leave the park until maybe like 12:15. We want to go to Colonel Hattie's for a final curry of the holiday. We were tempted to go to Stark Industries for a bolognese, but my mum is cooking us bolognese tonight, so we were like, let's save that for our next trip, and then we head off. But I think the weirdly wonderful thing about Disney is time kind of does stand still. So even though you're having so much fun, and normally on a holiday it flies by, yes, this holiday has gone quick, but each day has actually felt like plenty of time. So much so that by about 4:30 every day we're like, should we just go and like chill and watch a film and relax? Hence why yesterday is kind of, there's less footage, just because we managed to go on loads of rides, went to a few shops, had lots of food, and then literally by about 5, I think it was, we decided to head back to our room and just relax and watch a film. I finished watching Meet the Robinsons, which I've never seen before. Weirdest film I think I've watched in a while, and when you see the sort of plot twist halfway through, it all totally makes sense. But for the first half of the film I was watching it just like, what on earth is happening right now? And Joe just kept looking at me like, do you get it yet? Have you sorted it yet? So yeah, watched that, and then we started watching Wreck-It Ralph, but yeah, I was wiped out. Disney like gives you a very specific type of tiredness and a very specific type of headache. So yeah, I'm just gonna take in the atmosphere now. So I'm just gonna, this is just Main Street, nice and drizzly. And yes, see where the morning takes us before we head back to London. So for our final meal of the trip, we've come to Colonel Hattie's, as I said earlier, for a chicken curry. As you can see the steam coming off it. It's quite chilly today, I think, even though some people are still persevering in their lovely Disney outfits and princess dresses, I have definitely fallen in love with this fleece. It's got Disney on the front, and then on the back, I'm not even going to try and show you, it's got Mickey Mouse. I'll show you on that. On the back, you have Mickey Mouse there, and we have decided to come here for our final meal, just because I really love how this restaurant's quite tucked away, and every day that we've been here this week, including when we came in September, it's always quite quiet out here. And I don't know if that's just because people don't know that this is here, or if they just think that there's seating inside. I don't know, or maybe it's just not as popular. But I think the curry here is delicious, and especially on a chilly day, this feels like the perfect meal to have. So we're going to tuck into this, probably just chill here for a bit if I'm honest, and then just wander a little bit more, soak in the atmosphere before we head to Marne Valley station. It's always quite sad, well not sad, it's quite a bittersweet feeling I think on your last day, and we're fortunate enough to have another trip planned quite soon. But I think it's like any sort of last day holiday feeling, you just start to kind of think about reality, and especially when you start to step out of the Disney bubble especially, it feels like a much harsher reality when in fact it's not at all. We're fortunate enough to go home just to come back again in September, which we're very excited about, and I've already started prepping and planning what I want to buy, what food I want, what outfits I want to wear. I think the weather in September may be more similar to the weather that we've got today, hopefully just not as wet. It's been quite a rainy week, so we'll see. But for now, we're just going to enjoy our curry, soak in the atmosphere and all the lovely noises. It definitely feels a little bit quieter today as well. I feel like maybe because it's been quite a wet morning, people are slowly but surely coming in. I imagine it could be quite a sunny afternoon. It does already look like the clouds are starting to clear up a little bit, but we'll see where the day takes us. But we've got about an hour, maybe an hour and a half here, and then we'll head home, and that's another Disney trip done. So we've actually decided, because we've eaten a lot quicker than, again, I thought, we're going to go on Phantom Manor because it's only a 10-minute queue apparently. I'd say we've got about an hour left in the park, so we might actually fit in just a little bit more than we planned. But we've not been on Phantom Manor yet, so I feel like that'd be quite a cool one just to relax on, especially after we've just eaten. So yeah, we're gonna head there now.